Last time we got our colors looking the way that we want, but what you didn't realize is that Jeff was sitting next to me that whole time. Jeff, way to go keeping quiet.
That's what I'm here for.
Setting up an interview shoot or sitting on a set like we are right now, you might only have one camera. Let's see how we can turn that into several virtual camera shots with just a few clicks in DaVinci Resolve.
In today's demo, we're using a single 4K camera on a tripod, and we're obviously stationary.
That keeps things simple in the editing room later. Again, comes down to planning our shots ahead of time.
Now, with only one 4K camera, we're gonna create 3 1080p full HD shots. One will be a wide shot where we're both on screen, with another on Robbie, and then one on me. So let's join future Robbie in the editing room to see how it works.
Thanks, past Jeff. And welcome, present Jeff. So we're always learning here at Category 5 Technology TV, and I try to allow what I learn to be reflected in this series because this is all about showing you the tips and tricks that I use here at Category 5 Technology TV. And what did we just learn, Jeff?
Turn off autofocus.
Turn off your autofocus. Also, similarly, you should turn off the auto exposure on your camera, and that's going to avoid the light changing, but the autofocus in particular, you saw how it was phasing in and out of focus? That was the camera's fault. So we're going to learn how to turn this one camera into these multiple camera shots that we can do with DaVinci Resolve. So I'm going to jump right into it, Jeff, because we've got a lot to cover, and I want to try to be as meticulous with this as I can so that you can follow along and actually kind of understand what it is that we're doing. The first thing that I need to do, though, is kind of go back to the last video in this series, which is our color correction. I've already done my white balance. Here, let's jump over. I've already gone to my shot and corrected my white balance using the Doppler, and I've added a little bit of gain and adjusted the offset so that my colors are pretty good and everything looks good. But I do need to, now I've pulled back on the things like the mid detail. I've reset that to default because there are now 2 people that I'm working with, and I'm gonna have 3 camera shots inevitably. So I want to show you how to do that in a multicam scenario. It's a little bit different. Also, you'll notice that I've removed the vignette because we don't want a vignette that's kind of weird when it punches in on Jeff's camera and there's only half of a vignette because it was on the wrong shot. So let's get started with this. So first thing I want to do is, well, you notice that the audio tracks are connected to my video. And so I'm going to right click and unlink that so that my video track is independent. That's so that when I switch cameras on my virtual cameras, I'm not going to have it going in and out of the audio. So first thing I want to do is kind of punch in and set my framing the way that I want it for my wide shot. So this is going to be my baseline, Jeff. Just the shot that we're going to use when we're both talking, basically.
Right.
And so I set the frame, and then I just kind of skim forward a little bit, make sure that we don't move too far out of it, and that looks pretty good to me. The framing looks good. So that's really, really simple as far as framing goes. But now, we're not going to add a vignette yet, but we do want to do the facial retouching that I showed you last time. So I'm going to first create a parallel node for Jeff, and we're going to add facial tracking for you. Once we've got you on there we go. Now let's bring down your mid detail. First of all, let's zoom in a little bit so that we can see what we're actually accomplishing here. Ready, Jeff?
I am ready.
Here we go. Photoshopping you by just dragging down my mid detail. Just want to pull out any blemishes. I should start with me so that you're not offended. Look at you with your perfect complexion.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I'll take it.
All right. Okay, so now just frame his face here a little bit better.
Yeah, the other one was too wide. I'm trying to lose weight.
Yeah, now. No, it's okay to go outside, but you don't want to go inside because you're going to lose some detail on the edges or have too much detail where you don't want it. Okay, so now we're going to do facial tracking for Jeff. So what do we want? We want pan, tilt, probably not zoom because the stationary camera is not going to be going in and out. It's where it is. Rotate is not necessary and definitely not 3D. And let's rewind the track and start tracking Jeff. Okay, you're done, Jeff.
Excellent.
Beautified for the entire video. So now you'll see, Jeff, if I I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Now, if I skim, see how that thing follows your face?
Oh yeah,
and it's
okay.
actually doing the touch up on your face there. So I want to do the same thing to me. I'm gonna rewind to the very beginning of the video. I'm gonna create another parallel node, Alt-P, and highlight that and add a circle.
Now, you copied from my file instead of the main file. Does that matter?
How do you mean I copied?
Well,
I created a parallel node, so
Right,
we're doing color correction. There's no files involved in this.
No, I understand, but you created a parallel file off of mine. So does that mean yours is also going to have my?
No, this is parallel, so it's like layered effects.
Ah, okay.
So I'm adding effects to this shot, and my main shot is this guy up here.
Oh, okay.
So everything that I add to it is being added to that.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put this around my face, just like we did with Jeff. Let's get in there so you can see how much of a difference I'm actually making on my noggin. There
Nice noggin.
Yeah, there it is. This is bald and shiny. All right, get it around there. Make sure we're at the very beginning of the track. I mean, you don't have to. You can do reverse tracking as well. But because I've lined it up to the beginning of the track, because see, if my face moves, I would need to change the positioning. So there it is. It's nicely lined up. And we're going to go into tracking and hit play. Not the normal play, but this play for tracking. And that's actually tracking me. Notice the settings are the same as Jeff's because I haven't changed them. If I zoom out, it just continues to track. So all I'm doing here is basically touching up my face. So
Okay.
I haven't yet. All I've done is tracked it. With Jeff, I did it on the in real time. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to adjust my mid detail and see how it's kind of removed the blemishes from my face without blurring it, without making it look overly falsified. And now that we have those two tracking tracks, look at how perfect our complexion looks. We are just a stunning group of people.
Looking
See
good.
that? So there's Jeff's, there's mine. Now we're ready to create our individual camera shots. Why did I do that on the wide shot? Well, this way I don't have to retrack on each of our individual zoomed in cameras.
Right.
So now I've got this baseline to work with that I can duplicate and just change the zoom level for the camera. So I'm going to jump back here. And now I'm going to copy this with Control C. I'm just going to jump over here, Control V, and then pop it onto the first additional video track. So now I have two videos that are identical, but see if I zoom in on this one, I'm going to bring this up to just a little more than 2, let's say 2.3, and bring this over to Jeff. And this is now Jeff's camera shot, okay? So if I turn off that shot, it's going to be back at our wide shot. See that?
Okay.
Not the greatest shot. There we go. Let's find one where we're both smiling.
Probably need.
Oh, I like that.
It's a good one.
There we go. Over to Jeff, wide shot. So the wide shot's great for when we're both talking, and then when Jeff is talking, and then I need one for me too. So because I want to keep the same zoom level, it's really, really easy just to copy Jeff's track and then paste mine. And on mine, I'm just going to simply move the position to me. I want to see that thing on the top right. I want to crop that out, so I'm going to kind of position it like that. I can still see the shadow, but I'm not overly concerned, especially because my what is going to cover that?
Vignette.
Aha. So there we go. All right, so now we're set and ready to do vignettes. So we've got our wide shot, we've got our Jeff shot, and we've got our Robbie shot. So let's start with our wide shot. I'm going to click here, and now I'm going to add a new serial node, and this is going to add to our main shot, and we're going to create a vignette. So we do that by adding a circle, and we're going to make that big. Basically consider that this is the lens of your camera. So we want it to be as big as the shot. And then we're going to feather the edge a little bit with this red one here, just like that. Now I'm going to decrease the gain. And you notice that it's making the whole shot really, really dark. And that I did on purpose so that I could show you what it's actually doing, because now when I invert that selection, it's just doing that on the outside of the circle.
Right.
See that? So we've got this nice vignette on the outside. So I'm going to do the same thing on Jeff's shot. So let's jump over here and bring up his color correction. Notice how it's created another copy here. but it's not got the vignette because I'm working on Jeff's shot and I haven't yet added a vignette to Jeff's shot. So on Jeff's shot, we're gonna create a serial node. Oh, not there. We wanna highlight that and put it there and add a circle. And Jeff, you know what to do.
That's right, you go to the edges of the camera.
Yeah, there we go.
And then you wanna pull your feathering out.
Yeah, just a bit.
Adjust your gain.
We're gonna invert and lower the gain. See what we're doing there?
Look at that.
Beautiful. All right, now next up is Robbie. As soon as I have enabled that shot, now when I jump over to my color correction, you see that there's a Robbie shot. So highlight that, Alt-S for add a serial node, add my circle, make it approximately the same size. I want to hide that shadow that's on the right-hand side there from the drape system and add some feather and keep me right in the center of that and invert and lower the gain on the edges. There we go. So now we've got these beautiful vignettes for all of our shots. Look at how already that just looks so much more professional, AJ.
Yes, it does.
Beautiful. Okay, save your work. And now what we want to do is create the magic. Because now we've got these 3 shots, and you could go old school if you want to and start editing those all by yourself and cutting out pieces and changing.
But that's extra time.
Oh my goodness, no, we want to make this super brutally easy. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to right click on my ISO shot. So this is the actual camera file in my media browser here, my media pool. I'm going to right click and go create new multicam clip using selected clips. And you can name it if you want. I'm just going to hit OK. And now if I right click and open that in my timeline, oh, so notice, this one has a little icon in the bottom left. So that is my multicam shot. This is the actual file. So the multicam shot, I want to right click on and open in timeline. And it looks like this. So it's basically reverted the shot to the original shot, which we don't want. So what am I going to do? Highlight and delete. Now back at my main timeline where I created those 3 camera shots, I'm going to open that one in my timeline and I'm going to cut those 3 camera shots that I created. I'm going to go back to my new multicam shot, open that one in my timeline and paste it in. There we go. So now we have a multicam shot that has these 3 cameras. I'm going to call mine Robbie. So that's Robbie. Okay, when it's on. This one is Jeff, and this one is wide. Okay, now I'm going to jump back to my main timeline, and you'll see that there's no video because I deleted it. I moved it to this multicam shot here. So I'm going to turn off my inspector, change the view mode to multicam, and you'll see that we've now got 2 black windows. We've got no video whatsoever, but now I'm going to drag this multicam shot down into my timeline. Now it's already timed to my audio, so I don't have to worry about that. You may need to line that up if you've manipulated that. Now, I need to make sure that I have just video selected because I don't want it to do anything with my audio, just video. So that's at the bottom here. And now with this multicam shot highlighted, Jeff, I'm going to hit play. Okay? Now watch what happens as we're talking. So we're talking, and all of these shots are moving. Right. You can see the vignette over you. You can see the vignette over me. And now as I'm talking, I can actually click and it will change the camera shot, okay? So if you're...
Okay, and down in your timeline, it's doing edit points.
I want to show you that in just a moment. So as I'm talking, here we go. Now watch, here comes Jeff, right? So I can switch back and forth, but then when we're both talking, I click on the wide shot and it switches back. And as you say, Jeff, what it's actually done is it placed the edit points on my timeline.
Okay.
So now, if I go back to Inspector and just play my video, this is what it looks like. I'm gonna just fast forward a bit. Here comes a switch, see that?
Wow.
Switches are right like that. So you can actually control the camera shot, there's our fuzz, just by clicking on that timeline, to the multicam editor here. And you can have as many cameras as you want, presumably. I mean, I think it supports something like 16 somewhere around that. But so you can do it that easily. Now, to take it one step further, Jeff, you can use your keyboard.
What? How?
Wide is 1, Jeff is 2, Robbie is 3. So now, if I press play, it's going to play just like it is, and notice it's replaying everything at the top left as well. Now I'm going to push 3. Oh no, 2, because you're talking. So I pushed 2 on my keyboard, now I'm pushing 3. So I'm actually pushing the keys on my keyboard to switch. So I can do it really, really quickly, and I can just sit back and I can be doing my editing like this.
That's amazing. Now, if you mess up here, like you've got all the edit points.
Right. So, Jeff is talking. Oh no, but I still pointed at Robbie. So what I can do is I can either rewind, push play, and then press 2 to switch to Jeff, or I can go back to my traditional editing mode, which is to say clip like that, and then I can right click on it and I can go switch multicam clip to Jeff.
Oh, that's amazing.
So a couple of different ways you can correct that.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks. Multicam editing with vignetting on each of your virtual cameras right in DaVinci Resolve. Remember, DaVinci Resolve is available to you free of charge. You don't have to have the studio version until you have to have the studio version. I always say, like, start with the free version and do all this stuff until you need more.
That's right.
And that's when you can start looking at the commercial version. But there you have it, folks. What do you think? Comment below. Let us know what you'd like to see here at Category 5 Technology TV, how we do things. We are going to be getting into our audio end of things over the coming weeks. So make sure you catch those here in our series on how we create content for YouTube. It's not the de facto, this is how you do it, but I'm going to show you how we do it, and maybe you can glean some ideas and get some tips that you may not have thought about, and maybe get some really cool capabilities that you didn't have before. So thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up. See ya.
Bye.